We're going to be looking at an overview of the master oxidants, glutathione and SOD. And to do justice to that, ladies and gentlemen, I make welcome a top surgeon from the Department of Surgery, University of Benin Teaching Hospital, Benin City. I present to you Dr. John Ekwoma.
Yeah, thank you very much. This evening, I will take an overview of the master antioxidants, glutathione and superoxide dismutase. And I'll be doing justice to this using this basic outline, using the above outline. Well, as a way to start an introduction, glutathione, like you see, is a major antioxidant compound. That's the nomenclature, that's the chemical formula. Of note is the sulfhydride group or the thiol group, the SH group, which is very, very significant in the activity of this compound. Now, let's delve into it proper. Glutathione is the master antioxidant compound. It functions as a detoxifying agent, and essentially it is produced in the cytoplasm of every living cell in the human body. Suffice it to say at this point that it is produced exclusively in the cytosol and is actively pumped into the mitochondria, where, of course, we all know is the energy point, where most of the cellular activities, the powerhouse of the cell lies. Glutathione is found in virtually all tissues of the body, but most abundantly in the liver, where it constitutes about 25%. It is a tripeptide molecule that's essentially composed of amino acid glutamate, cysteine, and glycine in various proportions. It exists in two different forms within the body, including the reduced form and the oxidized form. There are other sub parts of it, which include the disulfide cysteine containing form and, of course, the protein bound form. All of these exist in a flux, transforming between forms as they split into components, which are synthesized over and over. This is to say, glutathione in the body is synthesized over and over. Now, the safety here is to gain the fact that in many clinical trials, it has been observed that oral glutathione has no particular adverse effects, and it can even reverse the toxic effect following excessive intake of other amino acids in its category. Now, the reduced form of glutathione, GSH, is essentially the biologically active form that has earned glutathione its reputation as the body's most important antioxidant. Now, what are the essential determinants of cell redox status and oxidative stress in the body? It has to do with the ratio of the reduced form, GSH, and the oxidized form, GSSG. Now, this hovers on the fact that it has also been shown that in the body...
Hey, Dr. John? Dr. John?
Yeah.
Can you put a full screen? Can you put your slide on a full screen? That way...
yeah, I'll do that right away. Thank you.
And then also your view is a little bit blurred out. So your background, you might want to remove it. That way we see your really good looking face.
Is that it has been shown that in healthy cells at rest, the reduced form of glutathione, which is the most active, the bioactive form, is in a ratio with that of the oxidized form in more than 100 times, while this proportion tends to drop when the tissue is exposed to oxidative stress. Now, why glutathione? The human body, like we all know, contains trillions of cells, and daily we create over 40 billion new cells. Every of these single cells requires the function of glutathione to survive. Now, this is the essence and the meat of this discussion, because this substance has shown itself to be the most important and the most powerful antioxidant of the body. Now, look at this. What is the problem here? The big problem, as we see, is that as one ages, the oxidative stress in the body tends to increase, while the master antioxidant tends to reduce. as this is depicted in the graph here. Now, the critical role, what are these critical roles of bioavailable oral glutathione? One, it functions as an antioxidant. Now, glutathione is said to be protective. Now, it being an effective electron donor, it does this by reduction and neutralization of lipid peroxidases, hydrogen peroxide, and other reactive oxygen species and free radicals produced essentially in the liver by the phase 1 liver metabolism of chemical toxins. If you look closely at the diagram, at the pictorial representation here, you will note that the process of neutralization of this free radical is catalyzed by glutathione peroxidase, the reduced glutathione into its oxidized glutathione. Now, critical to this is the fact that when the oxidized form is recycled back, the reduced form, with the help of enzyme glutathione reductase, an electron donated from the reduced form of nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate, tends to revert back and produce more of the reduced form of glutathione, which is the bioavailable part that is very active. Now, it also functions in anti-aging. This is very crucial. Most of our patients require this because it tends to reverse the effect of aging on every individual, and hence makes the body smooth, freshens the body, as well as makes the skin radiant. It enhances wound healing. It has been shown to be a cofactor for several antioxidant enzymes. It also plays regulatory function, where it participates in thiol protection and redox regulation of cellular thiol proteins under oxidative stress by protein S, glutathionylation, a redox regulation, post-translational thiol modification. This is very, very key because thiol protection is very important. Protection and regulation of thiol containing proteins during oxidative stress is achieved by the formation of these mixed disulfides with the reduced form of glutathione. Now, what is this metabolism we are talking about? For the metabolism to occur, it is required for the biosynthesis of leukotrienes and prostaglandins. And what are leukotrienes? Leukotrienes and prostaglandins play essential role in inflammatory reactions, allergic and asthmatic reactions. Of note is that prostaglandin is important in the function of smooth muscle contraction and relaxation. You can see that it also enhances the function of citrulline as part of the nitric oxide cycle. And nitric oxide, as we all know, is a vasodilator. It causes vasodilation and increases blood flow to areas where there is a paucity of blood supply. It's a cofactor and acts as glutathione peroxidase. Of note is the fact that glutathione inhibits tyrosinase activity and that of eumelanin synthesis. Eumelanin increases the ratio of pheomelanin, which brightens the skin, removes dark spots, prevents and or remove pimples, and of course pimple marks, as we all know. Now, I brought out this pictorial representation to also get these things clearer and to bring it home. Its detoxification mechanism involves essentially the liver in over 25% of cases. Now, you can see that these toxic heavy metals, alcohol, and what have you, are essentially guided by glutathione in the liver, where they are broken down and eventually metabolized and excreted from the body. Some of these also are in harmony with the kidney, which also elaborates the glutathione, which functions essentially also with the liver to remove excessive toxins from the body. It is deployed for the detoxification of toxic metabolites produced under oxidative stress, transportation of mercury out of cells and the brain, regulation of cellular proliferation and apoptosis. It is vital to mitochondrial function and maintenance of mitochondrial DNA. Glutathione also plays function in conjugation. Here, it facilitates metabolism of xenobiotics. I want to say that xenobiotics are chemicals which are found within the body but are not produced in the body of the organism. Now, it facilitates this metabolism by using glutathione S-transferase enzyme, which catalyzes the conjugation of lipophilic xenobiotics, facilitating their excretion. Of course, if they require further metabolism, this is also carried out. As regards immune function, it stimulates natural killer cells. Natural killer cells by promoting healthy functions of the T cells as well as other white blood cell population. Of note here is the importance that impaired glutathione synthesis or dysfunctional glutathione metabolism, or of course, glutathione depletion may be implicated in etiology and progression of a wide range of chronic diseases. Now, for example, polymorphism in glutathione peroxidase appears to increase the risk of coronary heart disease and stroke in some patients. Now, it is important also to mention that levels of glutathione are substantially lower in the substantia nigra within the central nervous system of the patient, especially patients with Parkinson's disease. Also, diminishing levels of reduced glutathione have been shown to be associated with age-related cataract, glaucoma, and of course, macular degeneration in the eye, as well as glutathione depletion. This is important because it may be implicated in the pathogenesis of some cancers within the body. It is also important. Some studies have also shown that some certain neurotransmitter potentials have been elucidated for glutathione. This, or the other speakers may also dwell on and tell us a little about them. Now, what are these benefits of glutathione? I'm just going to run through them. It strengthens the immune system, improves mental focus, acuity, and clarity, reduces the harmful effect of stress, optimizes the body's energy level, detoxifies your body, organ, and cells of toxins. It also helps you to get better sleep and makes you look younger. Of course, makes the skin healthier with its eumelanin and pheomelanin that it produces. It enhances athletic ability and performance. And of very significant importance is the fact that it enhances sexual health as well as libido, increase in libido. Now, let's also look at what certain diseases that are associated with glutathione depletion. This includes neurodegenerative disorders. Neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, Huntington's disease, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, and Friedreich's ataxia are important neurodegenerative diseases that are present in absence of glutathione, especially the reduced form. Others include pulmonary diseases, chronic obstructive airway disease, asthma, acute respiratory distress syndrome, immune diseases like human immunodeficiency infection, autoimmune diseases, cardiovascular diseases like hypertension, myocardial infarction, cholesterol oxidation, chronic age-related diseases like cataract, macular degeneration, and of course, hearing impairment and glaucoma, like I previously mentioned. Now, let us look quickly at superoxide dismutase. I am drawing a general overview on this subject. Superoxide dismutase is an enzyme that alternately catalyzes the dismutation or partitioning of the superoxide radical into ordinary molecular oxygen and of course hydrogen peroxide. Superoxide, like we know, how superoxide is bad. It is produced as a byproduct of oxygen metabolism, and if it is not regulated, it causes cellular death and damage by way of apoptosis. Now, I just use this to depict generally what I mean. Now, by essential mechanism of stress induction in most patients. Mechanism of oxidative stress. Here, there is impaired balance between reactive oxygen species and their production, as well as production of antioxidant defense within the body. This, essentially, what it does is that it increases accumulation of oxidative substances. Now, there are various causes that are attributed here, like smoking, alcohol radiation, pollution, stress, aging. Of course, these things will cause elaboration of nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate oxidase, as well as xanthine oxidase. And this causes respiratory burst and respiratory chain, leading to propagation and production of superoxide. Superoxide dismutase, like you see there, tries to block this pathway from tries to break down this superoxide into its other lower molecules, like hydrogen peroxide. But of note here is that the hydrogen peroxide, like we also know, it has a damaging effect, and it is degraded by the enzymes such as catalase C80 that is written there. Thus, the superoxide dismutase is an important antioxidant defense in nearly all living cells when exposed to reduced oxygen. Superoxide dismutase catalyzes the disproportionation of superoxides. In this way, the oxygen is converted into two less damaging species, and then they are coupled. This is what exactly is depicted in the diagrams here. Oxidative damage to the DNA, protein, lipids, and of course, this tends to lead to various ailments. Now, let us briefly look at the various types of superoxide dismutase. There are essentially three major families of superoxide dismutase. This depends on the cofactor, the protein cofactor, that metal that is attached to it. When copper or zinc is attached to it, this is said to be the SOD1, the type 1 SOD. When it is iron or manganese that is attached to it as the cofactor that binds to it, it is referred to as SOD2. The nickel type is the SOD3. Now, the important thing here is that there are essential functions which we need to know superoxide dismutase plays. It's a very important antioxidant defense against oxidative stress in the body. And within a cell, the superoxide dismutase constitutes the first line of defense against reactive oxygen species and free radicals. So essentially the benefits here, in fact, includes that it enhances joint health, enhances recovery of male fertility, relieves one of physical pain, improves recovery and well-being, reduces acne, help in ultraviolet protection, and of course, enhance cellular reduction. And of course, in eye health is also key, crucial in eye health. I want to quickly look at aloe-ace-mannan. Aloe-ace-mannan is a probiotic compound, or what others refer to as a prebiotic compound. Now, it is this property of probiotic. Well, of course, probiotic compounds that are compounds that stimulate growth of essential beneficial bacteria within the body. Now, this property it has is mainly attributed to its mucilaginous leaf gel, which has pharmacological, cosmetic, as well as food industrial importance, with great economic projections. This gel contains various polysaccharides, including an acetylated glucomannan known as ace-mannan, which has nutraceutical properties. And this particular is of importance because it's the most abundant of all the polysaccharides. Now, the active components in aloe includes atrapinones, chromones, and polysaccharides. And of course, other enzymes which are also present. The most important information here is that these hormones, these atrapinones and chromones, are responsible for the anti-cancer and anti-inflammatory properties that are derivable from aloe-ace-mannan. Of course, I brought up this to show us the other. But what are the benefits here? It modulates the immune system via immunoregulation, accelerates wound healing, and of course, healing of bones wound, especially when it is applied. It accelerates healing of ulcers and post-surgical incisions, and it has anti-neoplastic and antiviral effects. It can be used in the management or in prophylactic treatment of some cancers, especially wounds arising from cancer. And of course, it's an antioxidant. It promotes bone proliferation and improves neuroprotection. This is key because it also has promotes intestinal health. The most significant part of this presentation is the fact that the use of glutathione as well as superoxide dismutase, coupled with aloe-ace-mannan, is key because this allows translocation and transmission via the cellular membrane, the lipophilic and the fatty and the lipid aspect of the membrane. It allows coupling to occur, especially with the aloe-ace-mannan. Now, by way of conclusion, free radicals are a necessary waste product of cellular energy production. But our cells must rid themselves of this waste or succumb to the ravaging effect of oxidative damage. Glutathione acts in every cellular compartment, the cytosol, the nucleus, and the mitochondria, to quell the effect of free radicals. Adequate glutathione is not just desirable, it is essential to the survival of each cell, making it essential to life itself. This is according to NDT Nakazol. Superoxide dismutase and alloacemin supplementation with the master antioxidant has created a holy matrimony of masterpiece technology that define the pinnacle of nutripharmaceuticals. Thank you very much.